Hello everyone. In this video we're going to be taking a look at an article that is from the New York Times on MSN News. Now this was published on December 20th. It's written by Natalie Kitteroff and Jessica Silver Greenberg. Now, no one wants to get to the heart of why they're doing this. Okay? If they are actually doing this. Planned Parenthood is accused of mistreating pregnant employees. You know why they're mistreating pregnant employees? Because it's kind of hard to have women who've given birth, who have had children, to convince other women to kill their babies. Another reason why is it's kind of hard to have, to upsell, hey, abort your baby, when you have a pregnant woman doing it. Yeah, basically why. But no one wants to go there. That's why they don't want pregnant women at Planned Parenthood. Because they're not about pregnancy. They're about ending them. Anyway, let's get into the article here. As a medical assistant at Planned Parenthood, Tia Lisa Harrison urged pregnant women to take rest breaks at work, stay hydrated, and please eat regular meals. Then she got pregnant and couldn't follow her own advice. Yeah, well, maybe it could have been her position, but it's probably the fact of how Planned Parenthood was treating her. Last winter, Ms. Harrison told the Human Resources Department for Planned Parenthood's clinic in White Plains, New York, that her high blood pressure was threatening her pregnancy. Now, why does she have high blood pressure? Is she overweight? What's the case? I mean, it can't be just the pregnancy itself. I mean, there have got to be some considerations there. And, they should be also looking at the fact that she's pregnant and be taking that into account, and with her high blood pressure, whatever. She sent the department multiple notes from her nurse recommending that she take frequent breaks. Yeah, and like most employers, I'm sure they were like, yeah, fuck you. Because it doesn't matter if you're male, female, or whatever. A doctor starts making demands on your employer looks for the first way to get rid of you. Because they don't want people that they have to treat special. They don't want people that they have to, go out of their way for. They want people that are going to be there to do their fucking job and just work. But in this case, I'm sure it has, a lot to do with the fact of pregnant women aren't good for convincing other women to end their pregnancy. Women who have had children, a lot of whom they tend to change their mind about abortion after carrying to term and having the child. Yeah, they're not going to be the best types to, push for women to kill their babies. It just doesn't work well. Managers ignored the notes. They rarely gave her time to rest or to take a lunch break, Miss Harrison said. I had to hold back tears talking to pregnant women, telling them to take care of their pregnancies when I couldn't take care of mine, she said. It made me jealous. Okay, you could have just went to the labor department, filed a complaint. Discrimination against pregnant women and new mothers remains widespread in the American workplace. Bullshit. In most cases, that's complete bullshit. See, what's funny is they try to make it sound like, because these women want special demands, they like their maternity leaves, but they don't want to come back full time. And then an employer goes, well, we need someone to fill your position full time. Sorry, but we got to let you go. Supposedly, that's fucking discrimination. No, it's because you don't want to meet the requirements of the fucking job. That's not discrimination. It's so pervasive that even organizations that define themselves as champions of women are struggling with the problem. Okay. That includes Planned Parenthood, which has been accused of sidelining, ousting, or otherwise handicapping pregnant employees, according to interviews with more than a dozen current and former employees. And I think I just basically summed up why it's an issue for Planned Parenthood to have pregnant women there. And it's common sense that kind of dictates it. Logic, too. In interviews and legal documents, women at Planned Parenthood and other organizations with a feminist bent described discrimination. What? With a feminist bent described discrimination that violated federal or state laws. With a feminist bent? What the fuck? That makes absolutely no sense. Managers considering pregnancy and hiring decisions, for example, or denying rest breaks recommended by a doctor. If you can't do the fucking job, I hate to break it to you, but if you cannot meet the requirements of the job, they have the right to fire you. I don't think that was the case with Planned Parenthood. Like I said, but if you can't meet the requirements of the job, they can say, see ya, get the fuck out. You're there to work. I don't care if you're pregnant. Women want fucking equality. Okay? That means when you're pregnant, you don't get special fucking treatment. You do your fucking job and shut the fuck up. How about that? Because you know what? Men, we're expected to do that, and you want fucking equality. Pretty simple. Solves the problem. But as I said, I don't think that's what's going on here with Planned Parenthood. And I think that they're trying to use this bullshit to slant what's going on at Planned Parenthood, because they don't want to even admit that what's going on at Planned Parenthood is they don't want pregnant women there, or women who have had their kids, because guess what? They're not the best ones to convince women to kill their babies. Yeah. Let's look at that fact, okay? In other cases, the bias was more subtle. Many women said they were afraid to announce a pregnancy at work, sensing they would be seen as abandoning their colleagues. Sure. That's why. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Abandoning their colleagues. Yeah. Sure. Okay. Some of those employers saw accommodating expecting mothers as expensive and inconvenient. Others were unsympathetic to workers seeking special treatment. Yes, exactly. Guess what? They don't have to give special fucking treatment. Oh, but as I said, in the case of Planned Parenthood, that's not why. And it is expensive and inconvenient to have to bend over backwards and go out of your way for someone who wants to be treated fucking special. It's a fact of life. And I love how they have to throw these other companies in, okay, to try to sell this. Oh, this is just because they're pregnant and it's discrimination because of they're pregnant women. No, on the note of, well, because they want special treatment or this or that. No, it's the fucking fact that you can't have pregnant women going, well, they're keeping their baby to term, going and telling women that they should kill their babies. It doesn't look good. And like I said, you can go look it up for yourself. Women's views on abortion tend to change after they give birth. Okay? They might have been wholeheartedly for it, but then they're like, well, me personally, because they don't want to go against the sisterhood, they go, well, me personally, I wouldn't do it, but I got no problems with other women doing it, but deep down inside, they got a problem with it, because they know that that's a life, because they've given birth to it. They nurtured it in the womb. They brought it into the world. They don't want to have that as a factor, because then Planned Parenthood can't go in for procurement fees, which happen to be most of the fucking income at Planned Parenthood these days, be selling baby body parts. Oh, wait a minute. They're not selling them. They're procuring them. That's right. That's how they get around the fucking, illegality of it. At Natera, which sells genetic tests for pregnant women, two former employees, Melissa Blaine Johnson and Judith Rigo, said they were demoted while on maternity leave. They're lucky to have a fucking job. I'm assuming that they got demoted because, they didn't return in a timely manner or some shit like that. But also, you know what? They needed to have their jobs filled. So guess what? You come back. You might have been demoted, but guess what? You still got a fucking job. Were they supposed to keep your job open, your position open for the whole fucking time? That's not how life works. Businesses need to operate. They need to get shit done. And if you're not there to do the shit, someone else has to. Miss Johnson, who has sued Natera, also said that she was left feeling like a guinea pig when her boss suggested that she and another pregnant woman pose as patients and get genetically tested by a rival company. Oh, bullshit, she felt like a fucking guinea pig. That's just her fucking bullshit because she's suing. Okay? Secret shopper. Okay? Competition does that shit all the time. She filled the role as a pregnant woman. He wanted her to go and do a comparison, to shop the competition so that they could so he could do a comparison to them, to the company Natera that they work for. Yet she felt like a fucking guinea pig. Yeah, okay. That's bullshit. That's just her trying to get a little more money out of the lawsuit, wring a little more cash. It's pretty fucking easy to see that, too. If I was the judge, I would have laughed her out of fucking court on that one. I would have been like, we're dropping that part of the lawsuit. What do you mean? It's secret shopper, okay? It's comparative shopping. Shut the fuck up. Mrs. Johnson's employment at Natera was not influenced inappropriately by her pregnancy or subsequent maternity leave, said Anna Cezine, a Natina spokeswoman. The same was true for Miss Rigo. Yeah, even if, no matter what they say, that people are just going to think the fucking company did whatever those other people are claiming, because that's how it works these days. We're just supposed to believe women, regardless of what it is. They should just be believed. At Avon, which calls itself the Company for Women, 2 employees in a cosmetics testing lab have sued for being forced to handle toxic chemicals while pregnant. Hold on! You work in a fucking lab. You're going in a lab. You're going to be exposed to toxic fucking chemicals. That's your job. That's why you wear the proper hazmat equipment. Whether it's a respirator, a Tyvek suit, rubber gloves, nitrile gloves, whatever the case may be for the gloves, okay? But you wear proper equipment. If you're wearing proper equipment, your risk is reduced to a minimum. Take it from someone who's actually worked in a job with chemicals. Because, history degree, unless you're teaching or you're going on to law school or something like that, is fucking useless. Okay? A lot of interesting facts. I'll be honest. That's why for a long while I've done the tech thing here, I did it in the .com days and went back to it after the bubble burst, and I got out of it for a while. But when I was out for a while, okay, I was in a job where I was exposed to a lot of fucking chemicals, okay? Had to wear a respirator, had to wear the Tyvek suit, gloves, the whole 9 yards, okay? I was a stain chemist and a cabinet and furniture finisher. I knew the risk. And even, knowing that and the exposure I've had to these chemicals, because at times, like with that particular profession, OSHA's guidelines don't really work practically. They're impractical, because a good example is when you've got your materials in the finish room curing after they've done their initial flash and dry off. You've got chemicals outgassing from those finishes. For it's better now with waterborne, but prior to that, okay, you had all these chemicals coming out of the finish, and it would take, depending on the finish, it could take 6 months or more. And when you have them all in a confined, finish room, you get exposed to that. I knew the risk. I did the job. If you don't want to deal with the risk, don't do the job. If you want to do the job and not deal with the risk, then use proper equipment, which I'm sure at Avon they fucking gave you. But we had to handle toxic chemicals. Oh, what? Were you handling them barehanded? Were you taking a bath in them? Oh, no. You were wearing a respirator, for those ones with fumes. You were wearing gloves and taking other precautions. Okay, well, guess what? You weren't physically handling them. Nice try, though. See, that's the thing. They don't want to admit that. Well, they had proper equipment. They had to have at Avon. A marketing executive, Caroline Ruiz, also said she was fired 4 days after announcing her pregnancy. Yeah, okay. It was probably the fact that she wasn't doing her fucking job and the pregnancy was just a convenient thing. But, even if that is the case, no one's going to buy it. Because of bias. Got to believe all women. Paige Calley, a spokeswoman for Avon, said the company strongly denies claims of discrimination. Yeah, probably. Well, we had to handle the chemicals. Is your job to handle the chemicals? Yes. Okay, then what are you supposed to do while you're pregnant? I don't know. Exactly. And Marion Scallett, a progressive law firm, oh God, a fucking progressive law firm, suing Walmart for pregnancy discrimination. 3 lawyers have accused a founding partner, Cyrus Merhi, of mistreatment. Heidi Berkowitz said Mr. Merhi pressured her to return early for maternity leave. She's a fucking attorney. Holy shit. She's a fucking attorney. She's probably figuring, well, I'm an attorney. I can stay out as long as I want. I got a feeling that she wasn't asked to return early. She was asked to return her fucking date that she was supposed to return. But she didn't want to do that. I'm guessing that's what actually happened. Because no fucking lawyer would be stupid enough to fire someone because they didn't want to return early from their maternity leave. That's a lawsuit waiting to happen. No law firm's that fucking stupid. Sandy Farrell was told to participate in a performance review during her leave, and when she asked to postpone it, she was fired. Okay. Yeah. Because they needed the performance review done before a certain date, most likely. And she was on maternity leave and they couldn't get it done. And because she didn't want to fulfill that request of her employer, I can see why she got fired. That's not fucking discrimination. That's being an inconsiderate bitch. All she had to do is just go do her performance review. One fucking, day, a few hours of her life. And she'd still have her fucking job. Taryn Wilgus-Null said that Mr. Mary questioned her child care arrangements in a performance review after she returned from leave. He's an employer. He has a right to make sure that you're not going to have your job affected. You have obligations. As your employer, he has a right to make sure that you're going to meet said obligations. Otherwise, he has to go and make other arrangements. Which would probably mean you no longer having a fucking job. Sorry, but that's how it works. Mr. Merhi said he strongly denied the accusations and that no one was mistreated after giving birth. He said that Ms. Berkowitz's allegations is a lie, plain and simple, that Ms. Farrell had performance problems, and that Ms. Null, now a lawyer at the Justice Department, misinterpreted his comments. Yeah, of course she did. He was trying to make sure that she had all her ducks in a row to make sure that she could fulfill her fucking job. And you know what gets me is they throw all this shit in that's totally unrelated to try to sell a bullshit narrative with Planned Parenthood. Because if they throw all this crap in, no one's going to go and at least the dumbed down New York fucking reader that they cater to. Okay, the liberal left elitists who thinks they know nothing when they know fucking jack shit. Okay, because all their idea of knowledge is what, the New York Times tells them and shit. Fake fucking news tells them. Okay, which this is proof of why they're fake fucking news. But, see, they figure they throw all this shit in. No one's going to go through deductive reasoning and logic with the article and come to the same conclusion I have. That this is about the fact of pregnant women are not good salespeople on killing your baby when they're keeping theirs to term. Mothers who have had their children and know that it's a life, have their outlook changed. They're not going to be good at upselling abortion either. Because you got to throw this bullshit in to try to make it so that people don't go there. And at Planned Parenthood, the country's leading provider of reproductive services, let's rephrase that to what it is. At Planned Parenthood, the country's leading provider of abortion services, managers in some locations declined to hire pregnant job candidates, refused requests by expecting mothers to take breaks, and in some cases pushed them out of their jobs after they gave birth, according to the current and former employees in California, Texas, North Carolina, and New York. Yeah, why would they do that? Because Planned Parenthood is overwhelmingly run by women. Women run the show there. Very few men. So it can't be, the toxic masculinity thing. It can't be the fact of gender bias. Why would they do this? Could it be the fact that you want to get rid of the pregnant women and the mothers, especially the new mothers? Because it's fresh in their head. You don't want to hire pregnant women either, because why? If they're pregnant and they're going there and they're looking at keeping their baby, again, not going to be good at selling abortion. Doesn't work well. It's not the right picture they want to paint in trying to get mothers to kill their babies, so that they can go and sell the body parts for, the overwhelming majority of the money that Planned Parenthood takes in. Most Planned Parenthood offices do not provide paid maternity leave, though may let new mothers take partially paid disability leave. How the fuck? Wait a minute. They're supposed to be about women and their reproductive services and my vagina and shit like that, and they don't give mothers maternity leave? I wonder why. Because they don't want mothers working for them. Oh, God. And I love this bullshit thing right here, because this is complete bullshit. When I read this from the fucking president of Planned Parenthood, I went, yeah, okay. I believe we must do better than we are now. Yeah, right. You don't want pregnant women there, Dr. Lena Wen, because pregnant women aren't good for selling abortions. They're better at helping to convince women to keep their children, because if a woman's going to keep her child, she can't be trying to convince another woman to kill hers. So Dr. Lena Wen, the president of Planned Parenthood Federation of America, said in a statement, "It is our obligation to do better for our staff, for their families, and for our patients." Okay, well then, you want to do better for your patients? All right, you lied about giving mammograms. How about you get some fucking mammogram machines into your locations and actually pinch a tit and look for fucking cancer? That would actually be doing better for your patients. Fucking dishonest bitch. Dr. Wen said the organization was investigating the allegations of pregnancy discrimination reported by the New York Times. The organization is also conducting a review to determine the cost of providing paid maternity leave to nearly 12,000 employees nationwide. Yeah. And the reason why they're doing that is because they're now trying to save their ass, because they look like fucking scumbags because they weren't hiring, or they were forcing out, or whatever else they were doing to get the pregnant women out, the new mothers out, because of the fact of abortions. They're not good for selling them. So now they're trying to just spin that shit, and they're trying to make themselves look better for being baby murderers who don't want pregnant women to convince, other women, other pregnant women, to allow them to murder their babies. Vincent Russell, the regional chief executive who oversees the office where Miss Harrison worked, denied her accusations. Yeah. Sounds like it's a he said, she said, boom, boom. While Planned Parenthood's clinics and regional offices brought in about $1.5 billion in fiscal year 2016, half from private donations and half from the government to reimburse treatment provided to Medicaid patients, conservative lawmakers routinely threaten to kill its taxpayer funding. Yes, because guess what? Half the fucking country, at this point, I think it's just a little over half, but half the fucking country, nonetheless, is against abortion. Why the fuck should I have to pay for you to murder a fucking baby? Because you're an irresponsible bitch who, instead of fucking used birth control or kept your fucking knees closed, okay, decided 3 seconds of fucking pleasure was worth the risk. I shouldn't have to pay for your fucking mistakes. Okay? And it's more than just conservatives that are routinely threatened to kill that want the taxpayer funding ended. Because I'm a fucking libertarian. Okay? I don't feel that I should have to pay for a woman to murder her fucking baby. Okay? Because, the founding fathers, abortion was happening in London, it was happening in England, it was happening in Europe, back when they founded the country. You know why they chose all men are created equal? Because they understood that fucking concept. And they wanted to make sure that, the rights of the unborn child would be fucking protected. But you see, no one wants to fucking look at that fact because no one wants to go look at the historical context. No one wants to go look at the actual history. They understood that cretins like these psychopathic, sociopathic, well, actually would be more accurate, bitches who got no problems murdering babies. They knew this shit would happen at some point, and they were trying to, they were smart men, and they were trying to put a stop to it, nip it in the fucking bud. With their finance precarious, the clinics pay modest salaries to the employees to provide health care, abortions, cancer screenings, prenatal care, disease testing to 2.4 million mostly low-cost income patients every year. At least they're honest. Abortions, yes, that's their main fucking thing. Cancer screening? Prenatal care? Non-fucking existent. Name one Planned Parenthood fucking location that gives prenatal care. I notice how they didn't put the whole thing of mammograms because that's been completely fucking debunked. Okay? They provide health care. Okay. And disease testing. Well, if you used, like condoms or kept your fucking knees closed, your risk for disease would go down. So would your risk for pregnancy. I mean, how hard is that? I mean, to me, keep your fucking legs closed. All right? You don't want to have fucking kids? Then don't let a guy blow a load in you. Really fucking simple. Be a fucking adult. And say, well, I don't want to get pregnant, so maybe I shouldn't fucking fuck this guy and let him blow a load at me. I mean, hell, there are guys out there that look at that. Well, I don't want to be a fucking father. I've taken fucking precautions in my life because I didn't, the fucking women I've been involved with probably weren't the best, as I learned later on, probably weren't the best choices, to be in a relationship with, and probably wouldn't be the best choice for a mother to a child of mine. Leave out the fact of personal fucking responsibility. I mean, here you are, you're basically saying, well, they shouldn't be responsible for their own actions. Everyone else should foot the fucking bill. Fuck you. The Planned Parenthood Federation of America has its headquarters in Manhattan. The clinics that serve the women are run by 55 regional affiliates with their own chief executives and human resource policies. They receive some money and support from headquarters. Yeah, but they kick up a fucking shit ton of money, okay, on the whole abortion thing by selling the fucking fetal parts. They don't get to keep all that money. It's a fucking Ponzi scheme. They're kicking it back up to the fucking headquarters in Manhattan. Go figure. Tight budgets sometimes created punishing workplace conditions, employees said. A dozen lawsuits filed against Planned Parenthood clinics in federal and state courts since 2013 accused managers of denying workers rest periods, lunch breaks, or overtime pay, or retaliating against them for taking medical leave. Okay. But this doesn't go to why the pregnant women were being, targeted or supposedly targeted for, to stop them from working there, or the new mothers. You're just throwing in all this bullshit to try to back this fake fucking narrative of yours because you don't want people to use deductive reasoning and logic to go, it's kind of hard to sell abortion when you get a bulging baby belly, don't it? Yeah. Managers have discriminated against pregnant women and new mothers, according to interviews with current and former Planned Parenthood employees. and with organizers from the Office and Professional Employees International Union, which represents some Planned Parenthood workers. Okay, again, why? Overwhelmingly, Planned Parenthood is run by women. Why would they discriminate against pregnant women? Unless it didn't help, unless it was a hindrance on them selling abortion. Common sense. Solved. Real easy. In Miami, one current and two former employees said that women at Planned Parenthood at a Planned Parenthood office were scared to tell managers they were pregnant. One of them said that in conversation with superiors, colleagues would often volunteer that they were not planning on having children or were gay or single. Yeah, and those are the same ones that want to murder fucking babies because they think that having children kills the environment. They think that having children is evil. Why do you think the ones that are not having, you have not having children, gay or single? Because those particular groups, not necessarily single, but they're not having children and gay. They tend to be more pro-abortion. You can't have pregnant women upselling abortion or new mothers because they're not, they're keeping their kid. They've got that emotional attachment. They understand it's a life. They're not going to be able to successfully upsell abortions. They're probably going to be more likely to, whether it's, overtly or unintentionally, convince women to keep their kids. It was looked down upon for you to get pregnant, said Carolina Delgado, who worked in the Miami office until 2012. I don't think that any superior had to literally say it for us to feel it. Well, yeah, because they're baby killers, and they don't want you making babies. That's why. Baby killers don't like you having babies. Unless they're killing the babies. Just a thought. Danette Hill, Planned Parenthood's head of human resources, said that that most parents who work in the Miami office have been promoted after returning from leave. Why do I have a feeling that's bullshit? I just gotta, unless they're Kool-Aid drinkers and they're still gonna push the shit, but yeah, I just find it bullshit. A former hiring manager at a Planned Parenthood in California said that when internal promotions came up, supervisors openly debated whether candidates were likely to get pregnant in the near future and preferred those who were not. They declined to hire one pregnant woman and to promote another new mother, the employee said. Under the Federal Pregnancy Discrimination Act, it is illegal to consider whether a job candidate is or will become pregnant. Okay. But when you're selling abortion, you don't want women who are going to get pregnant, who are pregnant, who are new mothers, to be involved in that. Because if a woman could get pregnant, that her tune could change, especially with the fact of keeping the baby, feeling it kick, understanding that it's a life, and their tune's going to change. They don't want to invest money into someone like that. Okay, someone who is pregnant, they know same type of circumstances apply. New mothers more so with those circumstances. They know this. You're not going to be a good abortion salesperson, or in this case, a saleswoman, if you've got the baby belly, or if you've got the milk-fed, milk-full tits, and you got a little rugrat at home. Yeah, it's just not going to fly, because people will be like, "You're a fucking hypocrite. You want me to kill my baby, but you've had one." And it's going to click with them. They understand that too. The former manager said her colleagues felt they couldn't afford to promote someone only to lose them for several weeks. Oh, it's more than that. See, they just don't want to admit it, though. Financial pressures also explain why 49 of Planned Parenthood's 55 regional offices, which each manage a set of local clinics, do not provide paid maternity leave. Employees in about 20 of those regions can use short-term disability to earn a portion of their salaries while on leave. The New York headquarters provides 6 weeks of paid parental leave. Yeah. They don't provide it because they don't want a woman who's going to have children to get vested there and fuck them. That's why they don't offer it. And they shouldn't have to offer it. It's their fucking choice. And the reason why they're doing it, though, is because it's to deter pregnant women from working there, or women who would get pregnant. Because when you get a job and you've got the idea of you're going to get pregnant in the future, one of the things you look at is maternity leave and other benefits from the company. If the benefits are shit, you're not going to work there. Last year, Christine Charbonneau, who runs the regional office in Seattle, asked her Human Resources Department to find out how much it would cost to cover maternity leave for the region. The estimate, $2 million a year. That is the entire annual budget of some clinics. Yet they take in shit tons of money selling baby organs. Fetal tissue, go figure. Actually, we don't want to call it fetal tissue, baby tissue. Because they're formed babies. It's not like they're like a clump of fucking cells at the point that they're fucking Cuisinarting them, okay? Chopping them up and shit. Miss Charbonneau's office, which oversees 27 clinics in the Northwest, generates $77 million a year and revenue. As in fucking cash flow. Profit. But states like Washington and Idaho have cut government funding in recent years. Paying for maternity leave, Ms. Charbonneau said, could force her to close clinics. Oh, so you're going to murder less babies? Okay, give maternity leave then, bitch. I got no problems with that. Maternity leave. Give them fucking maternity leave. Quit making fucking excuses. Make maternity leave, close a few fucking clinics, and kill less babies. Sounds good to me. It's easy to accuse someone of hypocrisy if you're not the one trying to find $2 million out of thin air, she said. You try to be the Planned Parenthood that donors expect, and yet it's unattainable. What, quietly killing babies and looking like, you're a philanthropic organization doing it? Is that what you're talking about? Planned Parenthood's policies, though, can make it hard for employees to scrape by after giving birth. Yeah. That's the story of fucking life. Not everyone gets fucking maternity leave. What's your fucking point? A lot of women around the world pop out a kid and they go right back to work the same fucking day. Out in the rice paddy or some shit. What's your fucking point? In August, Marissa Hamilton, an employee at Planned Parenthood in Colorado, gave birth to a baby boy. He was 8 weeks premature, weighed less than 4 pounds, and spent weeks in a neonatal intensive care. The office doesn't provide paid maternity leave. That sucks, but guess what? That's life. And if they had their way, they would have aborted her kid. Your point? In September, she started a fundraiser on GoFundMe. On the appeals page, Ms. Hamilton wrote that she was under financial strain because, on top of medical bills, I cannot work. She set the goal at $15,000. So far, she has raised $1,995. Well, $1,995. Multiple Planned Parenthood executives said in interviews that they were eager for the times. Oh, my God. It would be a small T on the. Okay? Holy fucking shit. It would not be a capital T. It would be the and times capitalized. Oh my God. You won't capitalize president when you're using it as a proper fucking noun because Trump's the president. But you capitalize the T in the for the times? Are you fucking kidding me? Oh God. These fucking people are the press and they don't even know proper fucking English. So yeah, So the multiple Planned Parenthood executives said in interviews that they were eager for the Times to publish an article about the lack of paid maternity leave because they hoped it would lead to changes in the organization's policies. Sure. Ms. Harrison, the former medical assistant, took the job in 2015 because she believed in the group's mission. Oh, she believed in baby murder. Okay. Planned Parenthood helped me give women a voice to do what they wanted with their body, she said. So basically what you're saying is it gave them a voice to go out and fucking, sleep around. And if they get pregnant, they can just murder the baby. Good to know. Ms. Harrison, 27, instead of taking responsibility for their fucking actions, because taking responsibility for your actions, if you know that pregnancy could be an outcome of sleeping with some dude, okay, that you're probably sleeping with knowing that he's not baby daddy material, That's your own stupidity for sleeping with that fucking shitbrick, first off. But taking responsibility wouldn't be going and getting a fucking abortion. It would be raising that fucking child. It would be putting it up for adoption and finding a home that would care for it, which there's over a 3-year waiting period for adoption. If there's over a 3-year waiting period, I don't think you'd have a problem finding, a parent, situation, a couple parents to take your child. But you'd rather chop it up and allow Planned Parenthood to fucking sell it for major bucks, for major money. Yeah. Miss Harrison, 27, councilwoman who wanted abortions and checked up on those carrying to term. She said she rarely took lunch and often spent 10-hour shifts on her feet. She figured that there would be no better place to work while pregnant than a clinic that dealt with expecting mothers every day. A clinic that dealt with expecting mothers and was trying to get them to kill their babies. Yeah, real good fucking choice, lady. Real good fucking choice. But Planned Parenthood's Westchester County clinics, overseen by a regional office in Hawthorne, New York, had a history of issues with pregnant employees. Okay. Tracy Weber, the former director of clinical services in White Plains, sued the organization for pregnancy discrimination in 2009, saying she'd been fired 4 weeks after giving birth. Planned Parenthood settled for undisclosed terms. A woman who worked at Planned Parenthood's New Rochelle, New York clinic, and who declined to be named, said in an interview that when she got pregnant last year, managers ignored her doctor's note recommending frequent breaks. Recommending. Yes, they don't have to give them. Why should they get, you're pregnant. You're there to do a fucking job. If you can't do the fucking job, then don't do the fucking job. That's what pisses me off about this. So if a guy wanted fucking, had a doctor saying, I should get these extra breaks, he'd get fired in 2 fucking seconds. He could have like a grave fucking medical condition. He'd get fired in 2 fucking seconds and they'd be like, oh, well. But then in this fucking case, that's discrimination. No, that's called the real world. That's called employment. Her manager asked her to delay her maternity leave and, after she gave birth, pressed her to return early. Yeah, because when she's out of work, there's one less person working. There's no one doing her job. So I can understand why. See, but you don't look at those things. And I can't believe I'm defending Planned Parenthood on that one, which the main reason why I see it is because you can't have pregnant women there or new mothers upselling abortion. Their consciences won't let them do it. There's no way. With a large number of them, I'm sure you're going to have sociopathic, no non-feeling bitches that pop out a kid and have no problems pushing the shit, but hey. A medical assistant at the same clinic was fired in May 2018, the day she returned from maternity leave, according to a former human resource manager who oversaw the clinic. Jonas Urba, the woman's lawyer, said she reached a confidential resolution with Planned Parenthood. The former human resource manager, who requested anonymity, said that executives assumed that when a pregnant worker brought in a doctor's note, it was an excuse to work less. Because it fucking is. People who took sick days were perceived as lacking commitment. Because that's how they are perceived. That's how the real world works. That's how corporate America works. That's how they see it. This has nothing to do with them being fucking pregnant. What has to do with them being pregnant and getting them out of there is the fact that you can't have pregnant women convincing other pregnant women to murder their babies. Doesn't work. But hey, all the individuals identified in the article were treated fairly and equitably, free of any discrimination, said Mr. Russell, the head of Planned Parenthood's Hawthorne office. When Miss Harrison asked for regular breaks, including 30 minutes for lunch, her supervisors brushed her off. Miss Harrison said she sent multiple notes from her nurse at Full Circle Women's Health to the regional office's Human Resource Department, stating that the extra breaks were medically necessary. No, they were medically recommended. Different fucking thing. They were recommended. They're not medically necessary. Okay, and I love this. She needed her fucking breaks, but there are women who are pregnant, okay, working in fucking rice paddies in Asia, okay, literally popping a fucking kid out in the paddy, strapping the kid on her fucking back, and then going right back to fucking work. But she needs some fucking time off. I mean, I hate to be a cold-hearted asshole, but women want to be treated like fucking equals. But they want this fucking special treatment. That's not equality. That's special fucking treatment. You know, that just goes to show that feminism is about female superiority. No one responded, and nothing's changed, according to Miss Harrison, the former human resource manager. Miss Harrison's hands and feet swelled. The clinic's plastic gloves no longer fit. Her blood pressure got so high that her doctor put her on bed rest when she was 7 months pregnant. Yeah, and she had a fucking choice. Her health and her child or her fucking job. She didn't want to make the adult decision and choose her health and her fucking child. She wanted her cake and to eat it too. And look what it fucking got her. See, but she figured if she got special treatment at work, she could still get her job, still get the same fucking pay. Now, with all these additional breaks, is she going to punch out? Of course not. She's still going to get fucking paid. I know it, you know it. That's the intent of this shit. So she'd get to sit on her ass and get fucking paid. How's that fucking equality? Oh, that's right, it isn't. It's superiority. She returned to work on strict orders to not work more than 6 hours a day and to take regular breaks. One day in March, she worked a much longer shift. She soon became so sick that her doctor had told her to go back on bed rest. Then she shouldn't have gone back to fucking work. If they couldn't accommodate her 6 hours a day, then she shouldn't have gone back to work. She should have found another fucking place to go and get a job. It's really that simple. Why the fuck should an employer be compelled to fucking bend over backwards for someone? They shouldn't. A few days later, on March 23rd, she went to the hospital. Doctors performed an emergency C-section. She was 34 weeks pregnant. Yes, because she chose her fucking job over her health and her fucking child. That's not being a good fucking parent. That's being a shitty, selfish, self-centered fucking bitch. Seriously. When she had been on maternity leave for 8 of the 12 weeks guaranteed by the Family and Medical Leave Act, Planned Parenthood's Human Resources Department called her multiple times and urged her to return to work early. Miss Harrison said. She emailed the department and said she felt discriminated against. She resigned in June. So requesting her to come back early on more than once is making her feel discriminated against. Her job has no one filling it. They want to fucking have someone working her fucking job. Holy shit. But she felt discriminated against. No, guess what? A man doesn't get fucking, maternity leave. They might get paternity leave, but it's a fucking joke. And if you take it, yeah, the same fucking shit happens. Holy shit. I didn't get into the medical field to be treated like this, she said. No, that's the real world, honey. Hate to break it to you. You didn't get into the medical field to be treated like this, but that's the real world. You got to deal with it. The last she heard from Planned Parenthood was a letter asking her to donate money. She threw it in the trash. No, she would throw it in the trash because they're murdering babies. I mean, you look at this situation. You tell me, does it make sense that they want pregnant women? Does it make sense for them to want pregnant women to be upselling abortion? Or how about new mothers who have that whole bonding thing going on, and just went through the experience and have it fresh in their mind, upselling abortion? They don't want that. Because if they have that going on, more women are going to keep their babies. Okay? Because they're going to be less apt to push the abortions. And with that being the case, there goes a large chunk of Planned Parenthood's funding. Because they make a lot of money off of selling the parts of the babies they've murdered. And it is murder. Because some of these, like in Colorado, for example, they've had consistently, up to the point that they do abortion, they've had children consistently survive. So you're murdering children in Colorado for body parts. Yeah. And that number keeps getting, shorter and shorter on how many weeks of gestation you need before coming out of the womb and surviving. So, yeah. I mean, this is some funny shit here. That they're trying to play it a totally different way than what it is. They don't want to admit. Like I said, this is about the fact of you can't have a pregnant broad sell an abortion. It just doesn't work. But anyway, I've covered this well enough. I'm just going to leave things here. If you liked this video, depending on where you are watching it, please give it an upvote or thumbs up. If you want to know when new content of mine hits the internet, don't forget to subscribe to one or more of my social media or video accounts listed here. Also, with YouTube, don't forget to ring that bell. You can find all of my video content on both BitChute and YouTube. This may not be the case with other places I upload to, but I will try to minimize this happening. You are always welcome to interact with me at any of these sites on the list, so feel free to do so. If you have anything you want me to cover in a video, when it comes to news or current events, send it right along to me. I will try to do my best to cover it. As always, thank you for watching.